Welcome here to TalkFCB and welcome back to the channel, guys, where today there is truly plenty to discuss in today's video because we are going to be talking about the brand new signing who went through his presentation yesterday, Ferran Torres, and his words which have really seemed to upset Manchester City fans. We're also going to be talking about Joan Laporta and the words of Mateu Alemany, particularly focusing there on potential exits from the club, which could free up space to register Ferran. And of course, guys, we are going to be taking a firm look ahead at Wednesday's Copa del Rey clash, as Xavi again has a number of selection issues. But what sort of team are we going to line up with? It is all coming your way today, so let's get to it. But if we start today, first of all, just by taking a quick look back, because I don't know about you guys, but how many of you have actually gone back to Sunday's game, that heroic display to get the win against Mallorca, and you've watched that save again? Because for me, that was such a huge moment. And I don't just mean there as a team, but I think individually, for Ter Stegen to make that kind of save, to have that kind of impact on a game, it's what he needed. We, for many, many years, we were used to Ter Stegen making those kind of stops. We have seen him do that year in, year out, but then it all stopped. And these are the kind of moments we need from him. Because as you saw in that game, a big save and a big moment from your goalkeeper, it'll be decisive, not just in one game, but across a whole season. So we have to see much, much more of that from Ter Stegen. But I think in general, off the back of that win, finding a way there to get those 3 points, you saw it in Monday there in the open training session at the Camp Nou. I think everybody is in really good spirits right now. Xavi here has not only created a good team, solid foundations, but a real family feel. And that is what he's been very, very keen on right the way through his time since returning to the club. And as you can see right here, in that training session was Ferran Torres after he was presented as a new Barça player. And I think as always in these presentations, it's great there to see the player come out wearing the Barça shirt. I've said before that it looks so good on Ferran. It really does suit him. And you can see there the enormity of the Camp Nou surrounding him. He was absolutely loving the fact there that he could walk out onto the field, and indeed for the training session too. But I think in particular, the words that struck me from that presentation, and the words that have certainly really hit home at his former club, because Ferran said, "I've always said it, it was clear to me, I went to Man City in order to return to one of the greats in Spain. I want to return Barça to the place where it deserves to be." And like I say, those quotes there have not gone down well in Manchester. But honestly, I think the reason why Man City fans are so angry with Ferran, the fact they really are lashing out at him right now, is because you know what? The truth hurts. Because no matter how much money you have as a club, no matter how much your owners there want to pump in more and more and more money, that doesn't make you a big club. Because it doesn't matter about the struggles in the short term that Barca are going through, about Real Madrid's struggles either. Those are the two clubs that, growing up as a footballer, they are the pinnacle of the game, and we will always have that pull. And the biggest and best players in the world want to play here. And that is an absolute fact right there. And I want to as well draw your attention to some words from our president, Joan Laporta, who was delighted there to welcome Ferran Torres to the club. Laporta said, "Everybody in the world should get ready because Barca is back." And that is the statement right now that is firmly being said inside and indeed outside of the club. We are on the comeback trail, we are making moves, and we are ready to get back where we belong. But of course, in order to see Ferran back out on the field, number one, you've got to get him fit and available. And also right now, you have to get him free of COVID. Because sadly, after yesterday's training session, a bit concerningly, both he and also Pedri tested positive there for COVID. That was a real shame. Not only for Ferran, who of course is out injured right now anyway for a little bit longer, but I think Pedri as well. He was so close there to making his long-awaited return. But that is now going to be postponed for just a few days longer. But unfortunate news there for him. But of course as well, we want to get Ferran registered. We all know that we've signed him here. That's over the line. That's all confirmed. But what we need to do now is create some room, create some space on on our wage bill in order to get him added and available to play in this team. Now, Mateu Alemany yesterday spoke. He said he's very, very confident that not only will Ferran be registered, but he actually said by the end of this week, Barca remain very, very firm on that it's going to be fine and he is going to be registered in this team. Right now, the club are certainly looking at a number of players who they want to get out the exit door. Of course, Titi is one of those players, massively high earner, as we have discussed. And apparently this January, he's already rejected 5 different offers. Every single time an offer comes his way, he says, you know what, I'm not really interested in that. On his side, it's being said there that he's looking for a good sporting project. But I'm not really buying that. What he wants there is the best financial project. He wants the same wages, which of course is going to be very, very difficult to get elsewhere. So that is a situation that we're currently having to deal with. There's also rumours still surrounding Luuk de Jong's future. Even despite his winner, of course, against Mallorca, he is still linked with a January exit. And of course, Youssef Demir as well. There have been intense rumours that his loan spell could be about to come to an end. And then there's Coutinho. Very interesting rumours right now surrounding Coutinho coming out yesterday that apparently he's finally decided to leave the club and that he will go elsewhere in January to really try and kickstart his career again and get it back on track somewhere away from Barca. But what I would say on this right now is that we have to be patient, we've got to be calm, because we've heard all this before with Coutinho, and in the end he always seems to stay here. Again, the highest earner at the club right now. So let's just wait and see whether that indeed is the case, that he'll be leaving. And finally, Dembele. There were plenty of rumours that on Monday there would be one final meeting there between the club and indeed Dembele's representatives, but Alemany yesterday, he said no. He said there is no meeting scheduled with Dembele, we're not going to meet with them again. Now the ball is in his court. Barca still hoping, of course, that he accepts our conditions, that he actually says, you know what, I do want to stay, I'm going to lower my demands, but I think that's very, very unlikely indeed. And Barca, with every passing day now, they're looking at this market, they're looking for offers for Dembele, and believe me, if anything comes in this month, if anybody wants to sign him, Barca would certainly jump at that chance. But that, of course, is if any offer arrives with Dembele set to be free in the summer. But of course, guys, we've got a game tomorrow, and the games in January really are coming quick. There's so many matches in January. This one right here is our first Copa del Rey game of the season. Round of 32 clash there against Linares Deportivo, who are there a Spanish third-tier team. They're actually in the same division there as Barcelona B. They're 3 points behind Barca B as it stands in the table. And honestly, you wouldn't really expect them to cause us too many problems, regardless of what kind of lineup we're going to put out against them. But the only thing that we do have to be wary of here is that this is just the one leg. There's no room here for errors, for mistakes. You know, if you go 1-0 down, if you concede a late goal, there's no return leg. In the Copa del Rey now, it's very much in these early rounds, one away leg. You know the pitch isn't going to be great. You know it's not going to be easy conditions. So Barca here will have to be focused and concentrated to get that win. Xavi confirmed earlier today there will still be no Memphis Depay or indeed Ansu Fati in this game. Both of those players do continue to train with the group. They're looking good. Their recovery is well on track. But Xavi says there they need a few more training sessions with potentially Granada at the weekend there being targeted for those two players. We do, of course, have issues not only with injuries but also with COVID, and it's quite difficult right now to work out who's going to be available because obviously you've got to come back, you've got to test negative, then you've got to rejoin the group, so we're not quite sure exactly who is going to return ready for this game. And that is why here, in terms of the lineup, I would expect something quite similar, but with a few key additions in tomorrow's game. Because in goal, for me, I would start there, not with Ter Stegen, nothing against him, of course, after that match-winning save, but I would like to give some minutes here to Iñaki Peña. And I would choose him over Neto, quite simply for the reason that we actually want Neto to leave the club to free up some wages right now, which is also not happening. But I think Iñaki Peña, he deserves some minutes here. We want to give an opportunity for him. Seems like a good time to do it. Play him in this game. And of course, the player that we're all going to be looking out for, Dani Alves, is fit, he's available, And he's ready to go here for his second debut at Barça. It is going to be an official game here in the Copa del Rey. Dani Alves set to start at right back. At centre back, I would go there with Eric Garcia. And alongside him, what I would like to see somewhere along that back line is Mika Marmol. He's somebody who's really been impressing at Barcelona B level. Xavi is very much aware of him. He could play there as the left centre back. He could also play as the left back. Like I say, we don't know if Jordi Alba, Alejandro Balde, if they're going to be ready and come back in time for this game. So let's wait and see what happens in that area of defence. But in midfield, I would expect it to be something pretty similar. The likes of Frenkie de Jong. I wouldn't mind at all seeing him again in that deeper role as one of the more senior players in this game. Ricky Puig, of course. Xavi said in his press conference he is going to get more minutes in this team. He played well, he thought, against Mallorca. And alongside him, most likely it's going to be Nico Gonzalez completing that midfield trio. And again in attack, I don't think a great deal is going to change. You would play Jutla there in that front three, Ilias Akomash as well, playing on that right-hand side, with the match winner, Luke de Jong, leading the line again. Maybe in this game, he'll score that bicycle kick finish. But I think it's interesting because obviously coming into these Copa del Rey games, usually you would say, let's hope we see lots of Barça B team players. Let's hope we see here a really young team. But the problem is, that's what we've been doing anyway. All throughout this season, and especially over the past few games, we've always been relying on those B team players, always been playing a very, very young squad. So that is why in this game it may not seem like a big change, but it's because already we were using those younger players, and that lineup there is certainly good enough to get through this clash in the round of 32. I am going to go for a score prediction. I don't think it's going to be really, really easy. These games could always be a bit tricky, but I'm going to say here, Barça 3, Linares 1 in the Copa del Rey, where of course Barça are defending their crown from 2021. Please let me know all of your predictions and exactly how you would line up in this game. Thank you indeed, guys, as always, for your great support, for all of your messages. I'm getting better and better every day, and I want to be back here with you guys every day too. That is the goal right now, to get back to my usual uploading schedule. It'll come, I'm absolutely sure of that. And I, of course, will see you very soon indeed tomorrow for the match review. Thanks for watching, and indeed for getting involved. But until next time, as always, Visca! El Barça!